it all on me, cause honestly, I tried to play nice, baby.
This tune is probably, I'm going to say this, I'm just going to outright say it, probably the most underrated song that I've released. Clara and Noah on this tune, they're sick. Great singers. We had a great time writing the track. It came together so quickly. Such a vibe. And I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I do feel like it needs to be heard a little bit more. So we're going to go through the production today, just because I want to share with you some of the things that we've done, because I do genuinely really love this song, and there are elements in this that I'm super proud of, and the fact that we did all of this in one day. There's no production that was changed after this. There were tweaks and things in terms of like getting it ready for mixing and tidying up and things, but in terms of the production, it was literally done in a day. So I want to share with you and show you what we did, how we made it happen, and I hope you enjoy it. My name's George Holliday, by the way. I haven't even introduced myself. I am a producer here at Made on the Road, which is a production studio in a bus, so we can travel around Europe meeting amazing artists, and this was done in the Netherlands. What you heard at the start of this track is the mastered, final, finished, mixed thing, and everything you're about to hear in terms of the process and the tracks that we have here it's the production mix. So it's just as we were making it. So don't expect any magical tips on mixing, because none of these plugins really were used in the mixing process at all. So this was just throwing it down just to get a vibe on the day. Let's start up at the top. So first thing we have Underwater Piano, which is, it is Serum, and it's a preset that was made. This was one that Noah, I think, cooked up on the day, if I remember correctly. Love that sound so much, and I still use it in a fair amount of projects, actually, just in the background, just to add up just to fill up some beautiful space. I actually used some of that for the intro as well. And I believe probably through Ozone 9 have I done it. So this is what the sound sounds like without Ozone. With Ozone on it, what I've done is I've put an imager on it, divided the sections up, and then what I've done is only soloed that bit in the middle, and that's created my filter. So nothing from 1.1k up and 284 down is being heard. It's only between the frequencies that's been heard. Okay, so I've used the same sound here. This is the underwater piano sound again, but just for a melody on its own. It sounds like this. Sound great together. I know it's the same sound, but because it's so high up on the piano, it just works really well. I like it. Same sound again, but even higher, and we've got these chords. This is probably the only song ever where I've used the same sound to create 3 completely different textures, I guess, in a song. It works nice. Sounds huge. So that's basically all of the keys. I think there are some more keys below, but that's basically all of it. Interestingly in the song as well, when we get to the drums, there's no bass in that intro at all. It's just the 808 bass. And it's tuned into a weird note in the scale, so it's not even like, it feels like it's almost not even in tune. But when the whole point of that was that when the verse lands and the bass actually comes in, it just feels so good. It's like the whole intro is tension, and then finally gets to the verse and it's just this release, and it feels great. This is the sub bass, which I believe was Serum. Yeah, Serum. Sidechain to the kick by the sounds of it as well. Love that sound. There's another 808. they're clashing a little bit. So in the mix. Oh no, maybe not. They'll be clashing a little bit. So in the mix they would have been tidied up. But really nice, clean 808. Looks like it was a sample that I used for that. Nice. Okay, now we get to the drums. My favourite bit. My favourite bit always. Trip Hop Remix Kit. There you go. I think because we were making the song on the fly, like on the day, I was just using stock stuff just to get us going with some things. And then it looks like it stayed. It's pretty cool. I like that. I think that is sidechained to the bass. So the sidechain dips the bass every time the kit gets hit. Sorry, the compression dips the bass every time the kick's hit using a sidechain. So you're going to hear it dips every now and then. Ever so slight, but it adds a bit of energy to their one snare sound. All samples. Doesn't look like I did much else processing-wise to it. Let's go for a chorus. And then I've used a Cashmere sample that I look like I've cut up to make my own beat. Quite loose. I quite like hi-hats being loose rather than super regimented, so I don't tend to quantize my hats too much. I tend to play them live or use samples. I like them being a bit looser. Gives almost a bit of a human element, but also I think I like the fact that random things could happen that are out of my control, and sometimes those things are great. So I think that's why I like it deep down. If I'm being truly honest with myself. Another snare. Big snare, that. And what else have we got? Is there another snare on those? Oh yeah, in the verse. Distant snare for the verse, that. And then same for the intro. No, that was a sample. I forgot we did this. So this was something that Clara said. Clara said this in the actual session, and it was like the end of a vocal take that we did. And she says something like, I don't know what and then it cut off. So I obviously hit stop for recording, and it says, I didn't know what and then I stuck it in at the beginning of the song, and the guys didn't like it because I didn't know what it meant. I just thought it sounded cool. And then on its own, it didn't make sense. So I was trying to figure out, how can I keep that in there? Because I really loved it. I just thought it sounded cool. Her tone of voice, the way she just said it was really cool. I wanted to keep it. So I've chopped it up and stuck a telephone speaker. So it sounds like someone on the phone is saying, because this whole song is about relationships. And I wanted it to always sound like she was halfway through saying it and then the phone just was put down on her. That's kind of what I wanted. Or I guess it also sounds like it's lost signal or cut out or something as well. So I'm glad we managed to use that. I forgot about that little detail. It's cool, it works well as an intro. Okay, and then we're on to keyboards. I was still not great, was I? Let's be honest, at naming stuff. Retro synth again. I do still like the retro synth. You can just get so many cool different sounds out of it, and I love it for that. Okay, let's back up a little bit though. Let's go back to the drums, and let's hear the drums with the bass. Those two basses do clash a little bit, but my reasoning behind them is that one's going to be the sub, super, super low, which is this one. And then the one above it, the sampler, is going to be the clean one that's kind of like above. So in the mix, you can cut out the frequencies of one of them and keep the other frequencies in of the other one, and they kind of work together. So one will do the bass, one will do the really low sub bass, and one will do sort of the mid bass. So although they clash much in here, when you hear it in the final thing, they don't clash.
You with the blue eyes, you come alive in the nighttime. I love the thrill. I can't resist you.
And so all of those frequency spectrum, the whole frequency spectrum in that bass area is covered by those two basses. And I always use more than one bass, and generally same with like snares and kicks and things, so that I can create kind of my own sound that I'm hearing in my head by using different elements from different sounds, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how I was looking at that bass in that moment. Guitars only come in at the end. Only come in at the end.
Get another guy then.
Quite a bit low end in there, which I imagine... System overload! Go check out my video on 6 tips on how to not have system overload. Okay, so again, mix-wise, loads of low end needs taken out of this. Nice big delay. Got filter. And ozone again. Keeping it distant. I wanted it to be distant. I wanted it to be there, but I wanted it to be distant.
You with the blue eyes, you come alive in the nighttime. I love the thrill. I can't resist you. Calling.
Sits really nice. There's a whole space there, like back, to give a bit of depth. There's a whole space there that's like asking for it, and that's why we knew we needed that. What else have we got? There's so many things in here we obviously didn't keep in the end. Little talk box takes, little fun water droplet. I love that sound in the verse.
Safe now, your hands go down my.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, cool. Let's get into the vocals, because that's the main part of this song. So we've got Clara, the main Vox on there. Just looks like it's got basic compression just for the sake of recording, nothing fancy happening.
Swerving back to you, I don't mind you calling me a fool. Guess it true, guess it true.
And it looks like a combination of Abbey Road plugins, H verb, and I imagine H delay. Yeah, H delay that's there kicking in. Really nice.
Swerving back to you, I don't mind you calling me a fool. Guess it true, guess it true.
Love it. And all of those things will be automated at the end. Wicked. And probably if I open up my automation here, yeah, you can see where I've muted all of the effects.
Oh.
And the reason for that is because
You.
really want to play with the silences and the reverbs, and this is when I started. This is probably one of the first songs I really started playing around with, like loads of reverb, then no reverb, and just really starting to pull it around. And it's really stuck. I really love doing that even now, actually, in all fairness. And we've got Noah doing his rap up here.
Okay, so I'm on that vibe, babe. Is it all on me? Cause honestly, I tried to play nice, babe. I won't commit to anything. Got other things to deal with. Bitches ain't my problem. You know, like that. Get another guy then.
You with the blue.
I love when that guitar comes in. You can see I've chopped up a lot of the guitars and moved quite a few bits around, actually. Oh, there's another guitar here that we didn't talk about. What's this one? Oh yeah, it was a cool little guitar sound that he did with his pick on his guitar, just to kind of finish it off, and I wanted to layer it with some reverb and delays. It works really nice. I love that. It's a bit of an effect, you know? Sometimes instruments don't need to be used for notes. They can be used for effects. And right here, we did that. We did it. It looks like the only other crazy thing that's here is Vocoder. And by crazy, I don't mean that crazy.
You with the blue eyes, you come alive in the nighttime. I love the thrill. I can't resist you.
And I played that on the keyboard, so that's where all the notes are coming from. So they're different to the chords. They're different to the notes that she's singing in terms of the timing and things like that. I want it to be used as more of a keyboard than a vocal.
You with the blue eyes, you come alive in the nighttime. I love the thrill. I can't resist
almost sounds like keyboard chords rather than a vocal, if you know what I mean.
You with the blue eyes, you come alive in the nighttime. I love the thrill. I can't resist you.
Wicked. That literally is it. It's not a big project at all, really. When most of these tracks aren't being used, it's probably only 40 tracks in this whole song. The thing that really drives this song for me, the kit and the bass, Clara's like vocal, the way she delivers it just keeps me hooked. I'm not really thinking about anything else. I don't think this song needed, I didn't think this song needed any distractions from her vocal. Even with Noah as well, it was all about textures of that nice chord. So I basically only used 2 synths in the whole thing, and then like 2 basses, and then kit, and that was it. And even vocals weren't layered. So that was a real eye-opener to me on how big and how great a track can sound with so little in it. And I think I surprised myself on how little was in it, to be honest, with how big the song does sound. And sat amongst an album full of songs, which it is, that have so much other stuff going in. Some of those songs have so many stacks and layers of things, and yet it can still hold its own. It goes to show you don't need too much in a song to really make it work. You just need to have a well-written song, I think, in the first place. And if it's a well-written song, whatever happens with the production around it doesn't really matter. Let me know if this was useful. I'm actually really intrigued on this particular video. What did you find really useful about this production breakdown? What did you take away from this video? So let me know in the comments down below. Let me know down in the comments below if there's anything else you do want to know about production or delivery, or how to get certain sounds in your songs as artists. Let me know. And if you're fed up with just trying to make demos at home on your own and you want to work with somebody, then do pop me an email, team@madeontheroad.co.uk, and we can just have a really casual chat about your music and what you're up to. And if we're a good fit to work together, then let's do it. Let's make some music in 2021. Don't forget to check out the course, The Efficient Musician, which is all about how to live the life you want to live every single day. I built this bus and I travel all the time, not all the way through Corona, sadly, but I normally traveling all the time, living the dream, to be honest, like traveling around, meeting so many people, being in so many wild locations. And if you want to know how to build a lifestyle for yourself that you have in your mind, like a dream, even if that's releasing music, doing radio interviews, and getting loads of streams, if it's as simple as that, that is still living a life you want to live. And if you want to be able to achieve that, then check out the course, The Efficient Musician. It's down in the description below. If you want to go check out this song as well, that's also below. I'll leave it pinned to the top of the comments if you want to go check it out on Spotify. Add it to some playlists. I'd super love that and really appreciate that. And I know Clara and Noah will as well. So until next time, guys, take care, look after each other, stay safe, and remember, never stop creating.
Calling out your name, but you just turn your head away.